The Suns versus Bucks are in the finals, and I think this is the one of the more unlikeliest finals matchups we thought would happen. This is the finals matchup that happens when you sim My League in 2K and you just land on the Suns versus Bucks. And in the regular season, the Suns beat the Bucks 2 times. They only faced twice, so they're 2-0 against them. February 10th, 125-124 Suns. Giannis had 47, 11, and 5, but Drew Holiday didn't play. Booker had 30, CP had 28. Then April 19th, their latest matchup, 128-127 in OT. Suns won. Drew Holiday did play. Bucks' big three of Holiday, Middleton, and Giannis all had 20+. Giannis had 30. CP had 22 and 13. Booker had 24. Ayan had 20. Mikal had 21.
Sound like some great games.
Do you know Booker's shooting stats?
I do not know their shooting splits, but Suns beat them 2-0 in the regular season matchups, even though they were very close games. In total, they were decided by 2 points in all. Give me your preview on this series and give me your prediction for who do you think is going to win. I will start off with Riv because he's the basketball mastermind on this panel. He's the guy that goes through the ins and outs, the in-depth, the X's and O's.
We got this little order going on. We know after Joel.
Yeah, the order is Riv, Drew, and
that's
me.
How it goes.
That's why whenever Riv is surprised that I look to him first to say something, I don't know why he's surprised. This has been going for 90 episodes now.
Yeah, I don't know. I just be bugging out. But Suns Bucks, man, I got the Bucks, and the only reason my answer is really predicated on how healthy Giannis is going to be. Obviously, if he's good to go, I don't expect him to play game 1. I expect him to be ready for game 2 or game 3. But I think the Bucks can still steal a win in Phoenix without Giannis. But like I said, my Bucks take is predicated on Giannis being healthy. If Giannis is healthy, I have the Bucks, and I think Giannis being out kind of like was the shot in the arm the Bucks needed, because Giannis being out gave us that Drew Holiday aggression. And when Drew Holiday is aggressive, you can see he's a different type of player. He's more, he's attacking on the offensive end. He's become more of a scorer. He's playmaking. And then he starts to get in that scoring motion and starting to hit jump shots, starting to take to the basket. We've seen in Game 6 in Atlanta, he was doing things I don't think we've seen in a while, up and under layups, and ones, splitting the double team. So it was really, honestly, amazing to see. But we've seen when Giannis is out, we see Drew and Chris kind of turn it up on the offensive end, and I feel like if Giannis gets back, I feel like they're going to keep that drive going. Now, defensively, I like the matchups. Drew Holiday on whoever. They got P.J. Tucker for defense. I think he should probably guard Chris Paul because Chris Paul doesn't have that speed like he has before. I think Booker is a little too fast. I think, you keep Drew on him.
I agree.
But I think P.J. Tucker is going to do fine on Chris Paul. And we just seen him, aside from that Game 6, he had a pretty bad series against the Clippers. On the Suns end, they got some guys that can shoot the 3-ball. I think they have the pieces to kind of build the mini wall. Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder. They got Big Aiden down low, so that's a good thing. Chris Paul and Devin Booker, their backcourt. If they play well, this team wins. They have 2 playmakers. Cameron Payne, he's a guy who could come in the game and change the pace, run it fast. Chris Paul, he breaks it down more methodically. Mm-hmm. But I like this matchup. I think this is going to be a great series. I think these 2 teams are fun and exciting, and bearing everything else, I think this is incredible. But I do have the Bucks. I think Giannis is just so dominant. I think he's going to come in and change the pace. I don't think Aiden I don't think he's going to have what it takes to really keep up with Giannis on the offensive end. So I think I got the Bucks in 6 games.
Offensive or defensive end?
Offensive.
Okay.
Actually, I don't even want to give it a game. I'm just going to say Bucks. So I got the Bucks winning.
Okay. That's pretty vague, but I guess. I
don't want to do that.
What game do you think Giannis comes back? Not that you're a doctor, but
I actually am a doctor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I apologize.
Yeah. Game 3.
Game 3. Okay, even though he's game time today.
I don't want him to play today.
Okay, why not?
Your prediction is ridiculous if you think Giannis is coming back in Game 3.
Well, I said, literally in my whole monologue, I guess people weren't listening to me, but I said Game 2 he'll probably be back.
I apologize.
He wasn't listening. I don't want him to come back
Game
today.
3 though, just now.
Yeah, just now. I think Game 3 he'll be fully healthy, but they'll probably bring him back Game 2.
I feel like if they win this game, they don't rush him back Game 2. Let's say Giannis doesn't play. They win this one. I don't think they rush him back Game 2.
100%.
Yeah, but this is going to be a really good series. But after watching the Suns play against the Clippers without Kawhi Leonard, a.k.a. the Clippers' best player, and them still having somewhat of a fit playing against a team led by Paul George for sure. Reggie Jackson played pretty spectacular other than Game 6. Marcus Morris had a really good series also. But it's a series that, in my opinion, they should have handled with more ease than they did. Clippers, you look at it from the other side, you could debate that the Clippers should have been up 3-2. But, ball rolled the other way. Suns ended up getting their W. But now if I'm looking at it from this perspective now, again, you have a Milwaukee team who their best player right now is injured. But Milwaukee has also had success without Giannis. They had to play 2 games without Giannis playing. Chris Middleton played well in both of those games. Game 6, Chris Middleton was the closer that Joel was saying that he was not. But Chris Middleton had an excellent series, and I look for Chris Middleton to keep that going, especially without Giannis in Game 1. They're going to need Chris Middleton to be that true scorer with or without Giannis, because the Suns have too many playmakers on both sides of the court that if it's a Giannis solo show, they're going to get smoked. But I don't see that happening. I feel like with the addition of Jrue Holiday, release some pressure on Chris Middleton, and we're seeing Chris Middleton definitely take to form this postseason. But I feel like the most impact player other than Giannis whenever he comes back, I think he'll be back Game 2. I would like to see him come play Game 1 because obviously you want the two teams 100% going against one another. But I feel like the impact player in this series is going to be Jrue Holiday. Now, in the offseason, you had this monster trade where Jrue Holiday was traded for a plethora of picks, and this was supposed to be the guy that got him over the hump. Now, defensively, that was supposed to be the core of his game. And up until this point, I don't feel as if he has played as well as people have perceived his defense to be in the past. Now, you look at Kyrie Irving, he gave him fits. You look at Trae Young, he absolutely cooked him. Even on a messed up ankle, Trae Young didn't have the best game, but prior to that, Trae Young was doing his thing on Jrue Holiday. You need Jrue Holiday in this series although Giannis is out, they're going to need Jrue Holiday to pick up his offensive numbers. You need him to be that defensive anchor, especially on Devin Booker. So with that being said, I feel as if Milwaukee has, even with Giannis out, I just feel like they're the better team overall. No discredit to the Suns. I've been solid with the Suns all season. I love Ayton. Devin Booker is one of my favorite players. CP3, shout out to him for his first finals appearance. I just don't think that they are going to be able to stop Giannis, especially if they have Chris Middleton and Jrue Holiday on. So I'm going to go with Bucks. I want to say if Giannis misses game 1, this is going 7. If Giannis plays, I think this goes 6. I'm not going to count the Suns out, but I'm leaning Bucks heavily. Didn't want to have to do this to you.
I just want to let you know hold on before you start. I just thought of this when he brought up Chris Middleton. That take you said when LeVert and Middleton were on the same level, yeah, that's dead.
That's the only reason I brought it up.
Yeah, you got to dead that. That was terrible.
That's not a bad take.
No, that was.
I stand by it still.
Your Bucks takes.
Your Bucks take has been.
I've heard better takes out of you.
This is why the Phoenix Suns will beat the Milwaukee Bucks in the NBA Finals.
Not just beat, right?
They will embarrass. They will destroy. They will eliminate them. This is why they're going to beat them. And first, I want to talk about the Phoenix Suns because this entire season, they've gotten the short end of the stick. Coming into this year, they have gotten the short end of the stick. In the offseason, there were question marks on how far can Chris Paul lead the Suns. People thought they were a borderline 8-seeded team, even with Chris Paul. I even posted a Suns clip on Suns Reddit, and they said, I would be happy if we're the 4th seed or 5th. That's our ceiling, I think. From the offseason, I said, the Suns' ceiling is a 3rd seed in the West. They can be that great with Chris Paul. They exceeded my own expectations. In the playoffs, everybody talks about AD getting injured. Yes, that was a big deal. Did we forget Chris Paul injured his shoulder? He wasn't 100% for that series. And the Suns' young Bucks and Devin Booker multiple times came back from double-digit leads against the Lakers and ended up beating them. Then the final 2 games, they destroyed them. They wiped them off the floor. LeBron quit because the Suns were too much to handle. They were too hot to handle. In the second round, they swept the Denver Nuggets. Everybody loves to bash the Nuggets and say that wasn't competition. That was a team that beat the Blazers in 6. A Blazers team that I thought was good. They were a good team. They were not a bad team. They beat them in 6. But when the Suns sweep them, that was a cakewalk matchup. No, it wasn't. Chris Paul was just that amazing. Devin Booker was just that amazing. Ayton was just that amazing. Yep. Their whole team. Then in the WCF, that's the only series that raised question marks to me in terms of how good can they really be. But the Bucks don't have a player as good as Paul George. Kawhi being out actually let us see Paul George, PG-13, Indiana Paul George. It brought that Paul George out of him. Chris Middleton is nowhere near Paul George's level. And
what about Giannis?
Well,
I think he's talking about from a skills
Yeah, I mean, we're
perspective.
talking. Well,
I'm sorry.
Giannis is better than Paul George, but we're talking about if the Bucks play the Suns without Giannis in Game 1.
Correct.
There is no chance the Bucks win. The Suns are going to sweep the floor with them.
Correct.
And that's probably going to be tonight. That's the only series you can question the Suns' merit on. But I think not only is Tyronn Lue a better coach than Budenholzer, I think the Clippers had better personnel, better players on defense to do that, to switch on defense. Budenholzer's not going to take out Lopez. He's already proven that to us. He's going to leave us in. He's going to leave him in there. Lopez in drop coverage versus CP3. Drew Holiday is a great defender, but I disagree with your point about Trae Young cooking him. He didn't cook Drew. Drew was getting screened, and that's the reality of it. The same thing's going to happen versus Phoenix. Drew is going to get screened. Chris Paul, mid-range, is going to hit that shot. You look at all the statistics in transition. When the Suns or Bucks play fast, the Suns statistically are a better team. In half-court sets, the Suns are a better team statistically. The Suns shoot 37% from the three-point line. The Bucks are at 31%. From the free throw line, Suns shoot 86%. Bucks are at 71%. And this is the first team all playoffs outside of Miami, who is an awful offensive team, and Jimmy Butler got shut down, that has a personnel that can build a wall on Giannis. They have 3 great perimeter defenders in Mikal, Jay Crowder, and Torrey Craig. They have that back line of defense in DeAndre Ayton. They have the personnel to make it really tough on Giannis, and playing on a hyperextended knee is no joke. It's going to be tough for Giannis to play, especially how he plays. It's going to be tough on a hyperextended knee. I have the Suns in 5. And if Giannis is healthier than I think he is, I think it goes 6, maybe 7. Fully healthy, I think this series would have went to 7. Because Giannis is battling with this injury, I say 6 most, but I'm picking the Suns in 5. Chris Paul is going to get that championship. Devin Booker, first playoff run, is going to get that championship. And everything just points to the Suns. I know they have been criticized for their run to the finals, but let's not act like Chris Paul didn't injure his shoulder in the first round.
Yep.
Let's not act like Chris Paul didn't catch COVID in the Western Conference Finals, and that's why it hindered his performance in the WCF. He caught COVID.
Yeah.
Something that literally stopped the world for an entire year, and Chris Paul managed to drop 40 points in Game 6. COVID is not something that's just a little thing. It's serious. And he came back from that. The Suns have had their adversity. They have played through it. They have gone through every single obstacle. And the Bucks are just another obstacle that they're gonna go by. They're gonna rip the horns off the reindeer's head in the finals. The Phoenix Suns. They're gonna burn them off. They're too hot right now.